This is Scipio Africanus. He was one of the greatest Roman generals and probably one of the best generals of all time. He is best known for his decisive victory against Hannibal in the Battle of Zama. But this glorious victory was a long time ago. Scipio was now dealing with a legal case in which his brother Lucius was accused of embezzling 3,000 talents during his campaign in Greece. Now, Scipio in turn was accused of being bribed by Antiochus, the king of Seleucid. The legal debate was getting increasingly intense every day, so much so that Scipio, who was already suffering from illness, became even weaker, both mentally and physically. Scipio became so tired of this endless legal battle that he retired and left Rome eventually and stayed in a town called Litanum. The political conflict between Scipio Africanus and Cato the Elder concluded with Cato's victory. In Cato's eyes, Scipio might have once saved the country, but Rome now did not need him anymore. Rome was at peace, and the nightmare of Hannibal Barca had become an old story. However, Rome was in a totally different situation just a few decades ago. As a matter of fact, the people of Rome were very lucky to have Scipio at the time. Scipio first emerged in historical records of the Battle of Tissinus, which was the battle between the famous Carthaginian general Hannibal and Publius Cornelius Scipio, father of Scipio Africanus. The battle intensified, and Roman soldiers were dying in significant numbers, while Hannibal suffered only minimal casualties. The situation became a lot worse when General Scipio got wounded and was surrounded by Carthaginian cavalry troops. His son, Publius Scipio, spotted the general and saw that his father was in great danger. Scipio urged the cavalry unit to rescue the general, but they were hesitant due to the enemy's large numbers. Scipio did not wait for them. Instead, he single-handedly charged. Witnessing his extreme bravery, the rest of the troops followed him at last. Scipio broke the enemy line and reached his death. Soon after, the Roman cavalry followed up with an additional surprise attack. The enemy line got broken in this unexpected situation, and above all, Scipio successfully rescued the general. Being so proud of the heroic deed of his son, the general wanted to grant him a civic crown. His son, Scipio, however, simply refused it by saying the action was one that rewarded itself. At the time, Scipio Africanus was only 17 years old. He was already a very exceptional person at such a young age. 2 years later, the great Carthaginian general Hannibal, the future rival of Scipio Africanus, totally destroyed the Roman army in the Battle of Cannae. It was one of the most gruesome defeats ancient Romans ever experienced. The young Scipio was one of a small number of survivors from this horrible massacre. In addition, just a few years later, the people of Rome experienced another loss against Hannibal at the Battle of Canusium. After hearing the bad news of another major defeat, a group of young nobles, led by Lucius Caecilius, was about to leave Rome to save their own lives, hoping to find a foreign king to serve because, in their minds, Rome was now hopeless. Scipio, however, did not think like that. He drew his sword in front of them and proclaimed,
"I swear that I will neither desert the cause of Rome, nor allow any other citizens of Rome to desert it. If knowingly I violate this oath, may Jupiter visit with the most horrible perdition my house, my family, and my fortune. I insist that you, Lucius Caecilius, and the rest of you present, take this oath, and let the man who demurs be assured that this sword is drawn against him." His words were powerful. The group of young nobles calmed down from their state of panic, listened to what Scipio had to say, and took the oaths. Having demonstrated his bravery and determination already many times, Scipio was incredibly popular at his young age. He was charismatic, friendly, generous, and loved by the Roman citizens. Here is one illustration of this. His elder brother Lucius was a candidate for the aedileship, but unfortunately, he was highly unlikely to be elected,
while Scipio recognized his own extreme popularity. In Scipio's eyes, Lucius would only have a chance if both brothers candidate together. One day, Scipio asked his mother how she would feel if both Lucius and Publius himself became aediles. She answered that that outcome would be beyond her wildest dreams, but without taking the idea seriously, because Publius was too young to be a candidate. As the election day was approaching, however, Scipio begged his mother to prepare a white toga for him, the traditional costume of the candidates. "Why do you even need it?"
"I will be the candidate."
"What? Oh, I still like your positive energy." On election day, Scipio woke up in the morning, left the house quietly, and headed to the forum. The people immediately recognized Scipio and cheered due to this unexpected appearance. "Publius, what are you doing here?" When Scipio stood by his brother, both Publius and Lucius got a lot of attention and support from the people around them. However, the tribune rejected his candidature because Scipio was below the legal age required for aedileship. According to the Roman historian Livy, this is what Scipio said to the tribune.
"If the citizens in general are desirous of appointing me aedile, I am old enough."
Not surprisingly, it worked. It was Scipio after all. Both his brother and Scipio himself were elected aediles that day. However, Rome was still at war. Scipio would soon receive very bad news. Romans were greatly defeated by Carthaginians again in Spain, and two generals, Publius and Gnaeus Scipio, Scipio's father and uncle, were both killed in the battle. It was a tragedy for Scipio, but it was a major turning point for Rome. The people did not know at the time, but the fate of Rome would permanently change from here. Scipio became the next commander of the Roman army in Spain, in succession of his father. Now, at the age of 24, Commander Scipio was about to attack the Carthaginians in Spain.
Gracchus! Something more cheerful.